Ic7 Encyclopedia Relationships. Relationships under new management, guided by the forces of the universe, your sacred council. Discover the secrets of the universe, which reveals an assembly or circle of 32 laws of universe and nature, or better said, the guiding forces of universe and nature, such as duality, time, change, attraction, cause and effect, order, place and function, and many more. We are all looking for change, struggling in so many ways and aspects of our life. We may have an advisor, a healthcare practitioner, a nutritionist, personal trainer, or even a lifestyle coach. But we don't have access to them all day long. So enter the circle of vital and aware living and meet the Sacred Council, your personal lifestyle and awareness coaching team, always ready to assist you in every moment and in any circumstance. We are like visitors in a foreign country without knowing the laws and how everything functions in that world. We know a lot about the things of the modern world, but know little about the basics of life. See how they assist us with every step we make and with every breath we take, and make them practical in your daily life in dealing with your real self, your soul, your mind and your thoughts, your body, words and communication, nutrition, fitness, your life partner, children, the teenage years, getting older, stress, weight, disease, emotions, business, destructive habits, preserving the planet, studying, and friendships. For more detailed information on each of the guiding forces, see the intro booklet. There are endless words that can be connected to any subject, and each subject can have many books because each subject can be approached from various perspectives or angles. Most important, however, is not to forget that all that is said or written is merely an opinion, a truth, and not the truth. Because the spoken and written word is part of the creative world created in opposites, constantly changing and bound to time, and there is always more that can be said or written about any subject. Regarding me and the Sacred Council members talking about any subject, know that this understanding applies to that information as well. The information is formed from their particular point of view and brought to you through the world of visionary and mystical fiction. Hopefully, it contributes to your life and assists you to experience life in a more conscious, mystical, and magical way. By hearing or reading this information, you will come to the conclusion that you know this already, and you do, because this is part of your universal and spiritual inheritance. And often, we just need one word or a sentence that inspires and motivates us to do things differently or to think about a certain subject from a different perspective. The guiding force of the Creator. Make God a reality in your life. In regards to your relationship, know that you have a relationship with everything and everybody, but that the relationship with your life partner is probably the most challenging of all of them. The love story on the physical plane is just a memory of the real love story which takes place on a spiritual plane, where the soul, your real essence, is in love and reunites with its Creator. The most important fact to remember is that the essence of you and your partner is a soul and particle of the Creator. And only when you keep this in mind will you be able to overlook all the shortcomings and imperfections in one another. One day, you will experience that real love again and happily live forever after. Quote, "The only way to strengthen love is by meditation. There is no other way, because the love which we get by experience cannot be compared to any other type of love. Huzur Maharaj Charan Singh Ji. End of quote. The guiding force of the universal teacher. Master or be mastered. In regards to your relationship, be careful not to play master over your partner, as both of you are students for life in order to discover what a real relationship is all about. There are schools for most things in life, but two very important schools are missing: relationships and parenting. Most scriptures and spiritual teachers give guidance on this subject, but you are not able to convert this into something very practical. You think that you have an idea about spirituality and relationships, but they stay mostly just an idea or concept. The real relationship and the real marriage is on a spiritual plane, but which you have to discover through your physical marriage and bringing it as far up as possible to that level. And to do that, you have to become the master of your mind. Quote, be master of mind rather than mastered by mind, a Zen proverb. End of quote. The guiding force of the power of the mind. Know the tricks of your mind. In regards to your relationship, know that it is already difficult to deal with your own mind, directed by your own sense organs, and all the endless desires. And in a relationship, you have to deal with the mind of your partner. You have to accept you for what you are and minding your own business, and accepting your partner and giving each other space. And at the same time, you have to have an open mind. Use the mind for practical things which you can do together, but be very careful to use the mind for other things, because the mind which stands between you and the soul will stand also in between the both of you as well. Quote, marriage is not a simple love affair. It is an ordeal, and the ordeal is the sacrifice of ego to a relationship in which two have become one. Joseph Campbell. End of quote. The guiding force of the true disciple. Follow the master and the teachings. In regards to your relationship, know that you are students for life, and you need all the help you can get, and to follow the directions of your spiritual teacher and teachings is the first step. You have to stay open for guidance, because when you think that you have the answers and think how to do this on your own, you will be on your own. The relationship with the soul, God the Creator, or any name given to this real essence of life, is the foundation for all other relationships. And do not forget that you have a relationship with everything and everybody. As disciples, we are not to run away from our worldly obligations, but with the strength of meditation, we can even deal better with them. Quote, saints say, live in the world with your family, perform all your duties, earn money honestly, and spend it as you would a sacred trust on your family and others who need all your help. Live in the world, but with a detached mind, all the while giving some time and thought to your most important duty of God realization. Sardar Bahadur Maharaj Jagan Singh. End of quote. The guiding force of your inner hero. Be the hero of your own life adventure. In regards to your relationship, you have to really connect with that inner hero inside of you, a hero which decides not to be a victim and victim of circumstances, because this happens so easily in a relationship. As long as you do not accept life, yourself and your partner as a book which is either written by yourself or God, you will be in the victim business. Quote, if you treat an individual as he is, he will stay as he is. But if you treat him as if he were what he ought to be and could be, he will become what he ought to be and could be. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. End of quote. Life is not about worldly victories and defeats, but a book which guides you to overcome your own weaknesses, to not dwell on the scars of the past, but to be there for the soul within yourself and the soul inside your partner. Your relationship on the worldly plane is mortal, but that relationship between souls is everlasting. The guiding force of maturity and wisdom. Learn from the wise elders and nature. In regards to your relationships, know that a long time ago, when you were still part of the tribe, that the older wise men and mature men and women of the tribe were there to assist you in matters of relationship. Unfortunately, you have lost that tribe and those elderly people who matured with wisdom and vitality, and who are now those who became old, stiff, stubborn, and sick. Maybe you're lucky to find some real relationship examples around you, and some individuals who mature in wisdom and vitality. And when not, you may want to mature in wisdom and vitality yourself in order to assist others in the future. Maturing together doesn't need to be a process of two people getting old, stiff, stubborn, and sick. It is a great adventure which requires awareness, creativity, and flexibility. It is a dance between souls that have respect for each other and seeking union with God the Creator. Quote, let there be spaces in your togetherness. Let the winds of heaven dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let there rather be a moving sea between your shores. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Kahlil Gibran. End of quote. The guiding force of fantasy and magic. Live your life as a magical adventure. In regards to your relationship, know that the fairy tale you have in mind about relationships is not the relationship on the physical plane, but on a spiritual plane. Many fairy tales, which we just use for children, are magical and mystical stories that speak about the marriage of the soul with its creator, but you interpret them on a physical level. When you, however, tune more into your real essence, yourself, the soul, the spirit within you, and the soul within your partner, you will see your magical and mystical fairy tale unfolding. And with this experience, you will be able to assist yourself in your physical relationship. Quote, when two people meet and fall in love, there is a sudden rush of magic. Magic is just naturally present then. We tend to feed on that gratuitous magic without striving to make any more. One day, we wake up and find that the magic is gone. We hustle to get it back, but by then it's usually too late. We have used it up. What we have to do is to work like hell at making additional magic right from the start. It is hard work, but if we can remember to do it, we greatly improve our chances of making love stay. Tom Robbins. End of quote. The guiding force of translating messages. Decipher the symbolic meaning of messages. In regards to relationship, stay aware that everything which happens in your relationships are not obstacles, struggle and trouble, but messages in disguise. Quote, "Problems are not stop signs, they are guidelines." Robert Schuller. End of quote. Everything in life guides you, and when you do not see according to your conditional mind benefits on your physical plane, know that it is for the evolvement of your soul. Everything that you think that shouldn't happen or be in your life is a guidance and an opportunity to do things differently. And when you don't, the endless signs, symptoms and disease patterns will keep on knocking on your door. The guiding force of the energy of solids and earth. Feel connected and keep on experiencing new. In regards to your relationship, know that a partner brings a feeling of being grounded and connected, which is a nice experience in the mortal world of mind and matter. It is a world which constantly changes and in which you cannot find permanent security and in which you cannot hold on to or control anything. So do not make your partner into a possession or try to hold on to and control your partner. When you try to control someone, you will have to carry that person, and you will get constipated in one or more areas of your life. Life is an ongoing experience, full with new and different adventures, and so it is with a relationship. Quote, "Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls." Kahlil Gibran. End of quote. The guiding force of the energy of liquids and water. Go with the flow and in moderation. In regards to relationship, know that the base of a relationship is commitment. But also know that any commitment is only possible by being creative and flexible. It is a dance between two people who are to play in and with life as innocent children. But when you forget this, you will fall into the negative trap of lust, which expresses itself in many different ways. Be moderate in all your actions, and you will experience vitality in health, but also in your relationship. Quote, "Let your moderation be known unto all men. The Lord is at hand." Bible. End of quote. The guiding force of the energy of heat and fire. Pace yourself in order to digest. In regards to your relationships, know how to pace yourself in order to digest life, each other, and all the situations you will have to go through. Be gentle in all your actions with each other in this momentary adventure, and do not fall into fear because it will express itself through anger and is only destructive. Quote, "If you are patient in one moment of anger, you will escape 100 days of sorrow." Chinese proverb. End of quote. Realize that a relationship is about two people constantly having to forgive themselves and each other for their shortcomings. The guiding force of the energy of gases and air. Embrace, endure, and love it all. In regards to your relationship, realize that a relationship is all about endurance and enduring each other, which is only possible when we constantly give love in an unconditional way. Quote, "It is never crowded along the extra mile." Wayne Dyer. End of quote. It is about inhaling and exhaling, receiving and giving, and embracing it all, for when you don't, your lungs and heart will suffer. It is about trusting that life will work itself out as it is written, and not to fall into the trap of wanting only one side of this experience. Know that every gift in life is two-sided, and when you accept this adventure, your trust and heart will never be broken. Enjoy the relationship and each other. Do not fall into attachment, because you came and will depart alone again. The guiding force of ether connected to audible sounds and verbal communication. Realize that everything you hear and say is just an opinion. In regards to your relationship, be very careful how you speak to each other, because words can be very uplifting, but can also be more painful, even more than a knife. Be open to your partner's opinion, because all that what you say and share are only opinions, and then there is no need to judge them. Listen and observe more, and do not get involved in intellectual debates, which are all just about conceptions and descriptions, and all of them are incomplete. Lend an ear and be thankful and grateful to give advice or your opinion until you are asked, and even then be very careful to express yourself. In general, you are more careful how you say things at work or to others than to your partner. Learn to ask and set time aside to communicate in a constructive way. Quote, when entering into a marriage, one ought to ask oneself, do you believe you are going to enjoy talking with this woman up into your old age? Everything else in marriage is transitory, but most of the time you are together, it will be devoted to conversation. Friedrich Nietzsche. End of quote. The guiding force of ether, connected to the conditioned mind, associations, and non-audible communication. Stay aware of your limited and conditioned realities. In regards to your relationship, realize that a healthy relationship is about positive thoughts that fill each other and the space you share. It is a closer relationship you can sense and feel things without having to use words. So stay on guard what you think and send out. You are both two unique individuals, and each one has his or her own way of experiencing this world and each other, as everybody comes from different backgrounds and conditionings. There are endless realities within your mind. Quote, to effectively communicate, we must realize that all we are different in the way we perceive the world, and use this understanding as a guide to our communication with others. Anthony Robbins. End of quote. Be careful not to get trapped in negative associations with your physical condition, for they look like fixed pictures in a frame, and you have to deal with them. The guiding force of ether, connected to the universal mind, higher virtues, and soul communication. Observe yourself. In regards to your relationship, connect with the higher virtues, acceptance, humbleness, forgiveness, gentleness, moderation, and selflessness. And be careful to crown yourself or your partner, because you fall down into worshipping false gods and idols. Life in the world is just a stage where actors come and go, and what you need to do is to learn to play your roles well, like good actors do. Quote, the chemist who cannot extract from his heart's elements compassion, respect, longing, patience, regret, surprise, and forgiveness, and compound them into one, can create that atom which is called love. Kahlil Gibran. The guiding force of duality. Accept and deal with the duality in everything and everybody. In regards to your relationship, stay aware that life in creation is about experiencing the phenomena called duality or opposites. It is the world of yin and yang, alpha and omega, positive and negative, masculine and feminine, the yes and the no, good things and bad things, communication and miscommunication, and go on. One cannot have any meaning without its opposites. So be careful to not accept this fact and wanting just one side of the experience and refusing the unwanted side. Rather, use this energy to adapt, adjust, and understand. Quote, adapt yourself to the things among which your lot has been cast, and love sincerely the fellow creatures with whom destiny has ordained that you shall live. Marcus Aurelius. End of quote. The guiding force of time. Learn to live in the moment. In regards to your relationships, know that you are sharing time in the physical world and its adventures. Make time for each other and enjoy the time by being in the moment and doing things together, or just enjoying each other's company. Be careful to dwell in the past and future, for it will go at the cost of the moment. There is also no need to rush yourself and your partner, for there needs to be a good time management. And when you have this, there is time for everything. Quote, I have no yesterdays. Time took them away. Tomorrow may not be, but I have today. Pearl Eden McInnes. End of quote. The guiding force of change. Learn to go with the ever-changing adventure. In regards to relationships, know that change is one of the most consistent factors in creation. By trying to fix, secure, and hold on to things in your relationship and partner, you go against nature. Getting into stagnant and boring life routines, but also not accepting the changes in your relationship and partner, or trying to force changes, will disrupt the harmony of your relationship. The fact is that you both will get older and that you are part of a changing world, and by actively making and implementing changes to break away from stagnant habits and boring routines, connected how you think, speak, eat, and do things, will keep your relationship alive and interesting. Quote, the assumption must be that those who can see the value only in tradition or version of it denies man's ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Stephen Bailey. End of quote. The guiding force of cycles. Tune into the natural cycles of life. In regards to your relationship, know that your relationship will pass through many cycles during the time you're being together. With these cycles, there are constantly new beginnings for different things to experience, and other things will have an ending. Each phase has a new beginning, and so be open for them and be careful to hang on to the things you did in the past, for they may be outdated in your new phase. Also be careful to want to be in a phase where you have not arrived yet. There is no need to force things. They come naturally, and you just need to be aware of it. Quote, marriage brings one into fatal connection with custom and traditions and customs are like the wind and weather, all together, incalculable. Soren Kierkegaard. End of quote. The guiding force of balance. It is nature's duty to recreate balance. In regards to your relationship, that when a certain balance is disturbed, that sign, symptom, disease, trouble, and struggle will show up. There are endless ways of imbalances, and they will express themselves, for it is for you to pay attention to these very important messages and to do something about them. You either become an active part in trying to avoid imbalances, assist when imbalances show up, or you just fight and struggle and feeling a victim of circumstances. The prevention and volunteer path is much easier to walk than the path of confrontation and not anticipating. Quote, many marriages would be better if the husband and the wife clearly understood that they are on the same side. Zig Ziglar, end of quote. The guiding force of necessities. Simplicity is the key. In regards to your relationships, know that in order to have a great relationship that your needs are very simple. But when your mind with its endless desires comes in the game, that things can become very complicated. Everything that you want other than the basic needs and the basic needs of a relationship will come with an endless list of obligations. The riches of life is to be found in being content and living a simple life. Quote, simplicity doesn't mean to live in misery and poverty. You have what you need and you don't want to have what you don't need. Huzur Maharaj Charan Singh Ji. End of quote. The guiding force of wholeness. No need to go more into separation. In regards to your relationship, know that all is already whole and complete, for you complete each other. There is no need to separate yourself from your partner by confusing and focusing on your differences. Rather look what you have in common, or what you all can do together. Quote, lovers embrace that which is between them rather than each other. Kahil Gibran. As long as you think that there is something missing, you will feel incomplete, and you will be just running after finding a missing piece and discovering when you have found that piece that there is something missing again. The guiding force of comprehension. There is always more than you can see or comprehend. In regards to your relationship, know that you can find some reasons why you're together, but know as well that there are more facts unknown to you. There is more you don't comprehend from your level of understanding than you can comprehend. Accept the fact that you are possibly put together for many reasons and just make the best out of it. Quote, if the understanding is on both sides, then there is no conflict. It is a give and take on both sides. It should be the general attitude of the couple to adjust. If the adjustment is there, then there is no problem. Otherwise, very small things become big issues. One has to handle situations very carefully, very lovingly. Hazur Maharaj Charan Singh Ji. End of quote. The guiding force of improvement and perfection. There is always room for improvement. In regards to your relationship, know that you are having that you're having a physical relationship in an imperfect world, which is constantly changing, created in duality and bound in time. So be careful with your thoughts about the perfect partner, relationship and marriage, for it exists only in the spiritual regions on the level of the soul. However, you can always improve, and this you just do by doing your best. And the best means to have no excuse and no expectation. Quote, as soon as you look at the world through an ideology, you are finished. No reality fits an ideology. Life is beyond that. That is why people are always searching for a meaning to life. Meaning is only found when you go beyond meaning. Life only makes sense when you perceive it as a mystery, and it makes no sense to the conceptualing mind. Antonio de Mielo. End of quote. The guiding force of order, place and function. Everything is part of an order and has a function and place. In regards to your relationship, know that you as an individual have to take your position and that you have to play your roles well, like good actors do. For when you do not do this, the relationship cannot function properly. Many characters will come to the surface, which you either don't like in yourself or in your partner, and as long as you do not come to terms with them and do not accept them, you will have disharmony. All possible characters are within you and in your partner, and they are your theater actors or sports team players or family members or children. As long as one doesn't feel accepted and guided in a proper way, that character will keep rebelling and standing in the center of attention. Quote, at times your life seems like that of a tranquil island in a sea of chaos. The battle is to keep the sea of chaos at bay and not let it wash us away into utter chaos. Sanjeva Anayantan. End of quote. The guiding force of cause and effect. Every action has not just one reaction, but causes a chain reaction and creates a reality you have to deal with. In regards to your relationships, know that every action which takes place on the level of your thoughts, with what you say, eat and do, act and react, will have a reaction and chain reaction. The sum of all these actions and reactions creates the reality you will have to live in and deal with. Many realities you have also brought with you into this life, for they are stored in your genetic makeup, as they are the actions and reactions of your parents and all your forefathers. And for those who accept the reality of past lives, it is also clear that you all came with a package. Learn to deal with the package and reality you have now, and watch out for creating new ones, which you also will have to deal with. Quote, life is a perpetual instruction in cause and effect. Ralph Waldo Emerson. End of quote. The guiding force of contraction and expansion. Quality or quantity? In regards to your relationship, know that there is always the possibility of more and more in every aspect of your life, for the mind is like an endless shopping center. Know that quantity always goes at the cost of quality, and for that reason you must decide what you would like to experience in your relationship. You do not need to deprive yourself of anything, but it is a line you easily cross and which will take you away from experiencing a quality relationship. Quote, the ultimate lesson all of us have to learn is unconditional love, which includes not only others but ourselves as well. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. End of quote. The guiding force of repetition. Using the ability to repeat for the right reason and purpose. In regards to your relationship, know that the reality you live in right now is created through repetitions, and the dominant ones are ruling your life. Also know that you can repeat new realities, which is done through the repetition of different ones that range from your thoughts, attitude, communication, and to doing things. The old realities will never be gone, but they can stop dominating when the new ones start dominating. When you look back to your parents, and this is not to judge them, you can see that you are repeating many things in the same way. Just start repeating different things and experience life and your relationship differently. You either repeat the same scenarios and interrelationships with your partner or do the extreme opposite, which actually is the same. When you know that all is based through repetition, look for teachers, guides, and schools that can give you a different and more positive reality and start repeating and living it. However, never condemn the past, for it all had a purpose and reason.
Use the past as books for reference, but do not read them anymore. Quote, "There are no failures, just experiences and your reactions to them." Tom Krause. End of quote.
The guiding force of reflections. All your experiences are a reflection from within yourself.
In regards to your relationship, know that all you see, like or not, in your partner are reflections from within you. How could you recognize them when they are not already inside of yourself? Your partner is a mirror in which you discover more and more about yourself and an opportunity to grow through. When you, however, just keep pointing out to your partner, you are disempowering yourself and you will stay in a fight that will never end. So discover the things in yourself which you have a hard time dealing with and accept that first, and then see if you need to put some effort in by changing you. Quote, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." Carl Gustav Jung. End of quote.
The guiding force of rhythm and vibrations. Realize that what you are, you will attract or repel.
In regards to your relationship, know that you are like magnets, repelling or attracting each other, which is the sum total of everything that happened in the past, your inheritance, all your thoughts, words, and deeds. Everything in creation has a rhythm and vibration. Call it positive and negative, energetic or not energetic, healthy or unhealthy, and by being busy with the things of creation, they become part of you. Just think about each country or city you visit. It is the sum total of all those living in there that makes that place unique, and you are either attracted to it or not, which is nothing more than the sum total, the sum total being similar or not. Changing your relationship is changing on all levels, because it is the sum total that makes it what it is. Quote, "Whatever relationships you have attracted in your life at this moment are precisely the ones you need in your life at this moment. There is a hidden meaning behind all events, and this hidden meaning is serving your own evolution." Deepak Chopra. End of quote.
The guiding force of service. Learn to serve and care.
In regards to your relationship, know that when you talk about love, that love actually just serves and has no expectations or rewards in mind. When you are wanting or even demanding to be served by your partner, know that this is your ego and has nothing to do with love. Realize that real love is serving the other without having any reward in mind, otherwise it's about serving yourself. The way to really love and to take care of another is to always remember that God is within the other and see how you do things differently. Quote, "The only love worthy of a name is unconditional." John Powell. End of quote.
The guiding force of individuality. There is no need for comparing and competing.
In regards to relationships, know that your relationship is a total, unique, and individual relationship. Your combination may look similar to other couples, but looking in detail, it is just totally individual and unique, and for that reason you cannot compare it with another couple, nor do you need to compete. Also, how you as individuals experience your relationship is unique and very hard to compare, because you have such a unique past. On the level of your souls, you are, however, all the same. But in the world of mind and matter, you have your special, unique, and individual experience.
Quote, "Love is the ability and willingness to allow those that you take care of to be what they choose for themselves, without any insistence that they satisfy you." Wayne Dyer, end of quote.